Hi, everyone. All right, so as you can see, the presentation is up. How's everybody? Eventually, when you see this, my little studious tail. Um, yeah, so this presentation, expectations of it, whether you like it or not, it is the Zim-Zimmer, Simmer, Summer, Marie. And this title was in dedication to rest in peace, Trayvon Martin. Rest in power to anyone who's lost anybody due to unfortunate events that seem suspicious and weird. Keep in mind that these are determinations from my perspective, as you should have an open mind about anything, period. We can't help that some people want to try and block our creativity. Um, you know, you phone tapping, technology tapping, trying to act like nothing's happening. People, you would say you're protecting. We'll see. So, for everyone else, hope you enjoy. So, beware of taking this without my permission. That is the first thing I want to say. Because I have no control of what happens to you because you keep doing shit that you ain't supposed to be doing. You will experience a slow, painful, unfortunate event due to the protection over my life. I am not responsible for your attempts to take this information and use against me or anyone else. May this situation be handled for me and anyone like me prior before the situation begins. You do not get to tell how you look in my or anyone else's story. This is about my life, other perspectives of other individuals' lives, giving you a piece of me so you can see a little bit of X, Y, and Z. So this is about my life in bits and pieces to assist the collective that is living in truth and not pretending to be someone else, regardless of any similar situations another can so called relate to. You will still have to, go through some things. You can't want someone else's life. You literally have to go through the things that they went through, their ancestors, XYZ. You have to be careful what you ask for. This is what a lot of you didn't know. And then you want to cry, me too, not realizing the domino effect you asked for. You still are not them. So at the end of the day, that will be defined. I do not I do not support the Me Too movement because you can never be me. I can never be you. A little bit about Trayvon Martin. I was strolling through my area, North Carolina. What up, North Carolinians? And on my way to Rose Hill, I'm, you know, checking out the scene, looking. You know how you check the scenery? Signs and synchronicities, as it would say in Title 14 U.S. Codes. So these basically, you have the right to use sign synchronicities. You just have to, well, no legal advice as I'm speaking, but you would have to know a little bit about it. Now, I do have my degree in the science of criminal justice. I do have my real estate law certification, and I am herbal health certified. I recently I took a completion course for victim rights advocacy. So, yeah, and a sworn in mediator with the rights and privilege. So, I'm just going to be switching up how I do things. I'm going to switch it up as you should. They say, childish things you should grow up from, but it's really not childish. I just feel like some people deem it as childish because you can't beat them in this area. this is their strong suit. I feel like as long as you can find an adult way to attribute the foundations that seem kiddyish, you should be just fine. As such, teaching children and getting on their level of understanding, overstanding, understanding from outer standing perspectives to teach them, they would say, instruct them, to profess claims unto them about education, according to what you're learning or getting them to learn. So Trayvon Martin, there is a place going toward Rose Hills called Trayvon Ezel. Something about Debo. I used to call myself Debo Tiny. Now I call myself Deboo Tiny. A neighbor child of mine, she would call herself that now. She's a Capricorn. I got two Capricorn placements in my chart. My grandmother Mary, born Christmas Eve, she's a Capricorn. So I'm not silly. It's kind of like, why y'all biting? Why y'all can't be original? And then some of you know damn well you ain't original. Somebody fake ass trademarks. Hey, that's on you. Some people, I feel like some people are afraid of change, due to what they think they know. Because anything that you think is always subject to change. Sometimes I find myself, you know, not having a hard time grasping that ideology. It can be difficult for a lot of us. Yes, so something about Trayvon Ezel. These names could be significant as I speak. I am an intuitive divine conflict resolution strategist. This is the first presentation of divine conflict resolution strategies. I am a G. So Trayvon Benjamin Martin was 17 years old at the time. His apparently his death 17. He's from Miami Gardens, Florida, who was fatally shot in Sanford, Florida, by George Zimmerman, a 28-year-old Hispanic American. Martin, Mr. Trayvon, had accompanied his father to visit his father's fiancee at her townhouse at the retreat at the Twin Lakes in Sanford. So this is basically his burial area. Um, Something about twins. There's been a lot of things about twins lately. So he was born February 5th, 1995 in Miami, Florida. He died the 26th of 2012. Ironically, that's the year I graduated. And then he's 17. Something about star energy. Sanford, Florida. Something about Sanford and Son. Esther, Red Fox, divine intervention. So the parents of Mr. Martin is Sabrina Fulton. I think there's a place, Fulton County or something like that, where there was like a problem with the water. And then Tracy Martin. So something about Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Um, that name is very significant for a lot of people, actually. Tracy. Something about Tracy. Something about traces. Tracing. So he was buried March 3rd of 2012. Dade Memorial Park, Opelika. Alma Mater. So we have Miami Carroll City Senior High School, and then Dr. Michael M. Crop Senior High School. So again, Debo Tiny, something about Debo Tiny. The reason why is because of the with Trayvon Ezel, Ezel Friday. The Fridays dates to remember, recall. We have October 13th, but prior to that day, let's go back. May 13th of 2022. What did you do that day? Who did you speak to? What did you say? Why did you say it? Man, cut the deck. I'm the devil and the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Devil upright. Yes. Capricorn energy. Something about money. Cut the deck again at the Hierophant. So, what did you do that day? May 13th of 2022. Then you have January 13th, 2023. And then May 13th of 2023 as well. Believe so. Believe these are the Fridays, the 3 Fridays. Something about the 3 Fridays. What did y'all do? Reflect those, because it's something about reoccurring fees, like prepaid entertainment contracts, titles 66, Article 21, something about Savage. So yeah, something about the reoccurring fees, the reoccurring issues, the reoccurring. It's like a start over, like the redo. So Capricorn and Cancer are opposites of each other. These are opposites of each other, but they coincide in mastery due to family matters and financial. How can I put it? Financial literacy, careers that attribute to finances. So be very mindful of these houses, especially if you have them highly aspected or they're, in there a few times than none. Uh, it has a very much need for, like, you have a capability when it comes to finances and family matters. So it could be for you to work in like bookkeeping, maybe keeping up with the books, the records of family is important, or something of the nature. I do not call myself Debo Tiny no more. It's the Boo Tiny. So Deborah, Deborah, Debbie, something about last night or and that night. We have Tamara Green, rest in peace. Something about trash can, garbage area, dumpster. She was a stripper. Cakes. We have Sabrina, Teenage Witch, with Black Cat, Hocus Pocus, Black Cat named I about to say Salmon, Salem. So yeah, you remember the Black Cat in Hocus Pocus, Salem, or that's what a lot of us would call him. So Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Black Cat was Salem. Do not open the book, is what the Black Cat told them when the brother and the sister went into this home. Like, it's kind of like trespassing, breaking and entering. So something about someone's eighth house lock got popped, like I was saying, for a lot of you. And then Priestess Abdunola makes an eighth house or a Scorpio contribute to this. And a lot of times, I think people are just afraid of change, I mean, I don't know why I don't know. Somebody probably hacked her stuff, or she's actually watching me. I got proof of this. Whether or not she'll say anything, people have a right to watch. But I'd rather for you to say something. Like, what's the need of watching? You ain't said nothing. That's weird to me. But hey, whatever. Wish them well, regardless. Long as it's not dampering my light. I'm sorry, I'm gonna shine. So do not open the book, is what that Black Cat told the brother and the sister who came into someone's home. They were not invited. They just thought it was okay, typical. So these are individuals, according to this first slide. This is basically a replica of people coming into someone's home or invading someone's privacy space because they want to break something. Let's just say, if you understand real estate to other replicas of currency, you understand it. Or you would, I wouldn't say understand, let's say you would get it. So whatever this means to you, long story short, Capricorn and Cancer house is about financial literacy of family matters, handling the books, balances, checks, and whatnot. So someone probably created a book, or it's something about a book got open. B and E, criminal justice talk, where someone invaded someone's privacy due to records and who they are. Um, Subjugation, using things against someone to administer that, you know, oh, this is fair. When a lot of things we're learning, no, it's not. So, just a few highlights: Miami, Florida, Sanford, Florida. And the 5th, 1995, the 9th of this year, the moon was in the new moon in Aquarius, bring love into the situation. And then the full moon in Virgo was on the 24th, 4 days prior to this. So that's like 9. And then 2 days before this date would be the 24th. So it's something about those times. Maybe something, I don't know what years may replica to it, but I do believe checking what happened prior to these dates, it might have been a silver lining there. Let's say that. But they did, yeah. With the book, they opened the book anyway. You know, the black cat, told them not to open the book. Then they had to help them, and then they needed a miracle because they took the little girl, trying to get her soul so they could stay young. So somebody, you have a 12-year-old, they want to take the child. This is nothing new. They're going to try to use, oh, we have a right because what you're not doing. But there's a back end story of them hovering and harvesting over the children. New moon in Cancer, you and your loved ones are safe. To the full moon in Cancer, a personal issue reaches resolution, because from 7/17 of 2023 to the full moon in Cancer, which was the 26th, I believe, of December 2023. Uh, that was a full moon in Cancer. They were 69 days apart. So something about flip and flop, switch and flip. Something about swish and flick. Let's keep going. We have germs, many germs. So Germanic connections. So as we saw in the beginning, Zimmerman, he is the man who killed Trayvon Martin. So Zimmer is a dramatic, or really a Germanic, I would say, word meaning room. And backwards, room is more. And also a surname. So when we think about these kinds of replicas, it's just self-explanatory. And a lot of individuals do not want to come to terms with what we obviously can tell. So if Zimmer is a Germanic, or some would say a Germatic, you could say Germanic for an etymology attribute, but we're talking about the actual, they would say ethnicity of choice, because Zimmer is a Germanic word meaning room. Room backwards means more, and also a surname. So Zimmerman. Someone is taking a space in sneaky ways, or in ways naked to the spiritual eye in practical forms, because they would say usually ignorance to the law is no excuse. But then if there was a spiritual aspect before a practical, because in order for us to have practicality, there was spirituality. There was a sense of, this is something that we should pay attention to. This is a reoccurring thing, or these things matter, da 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 da. So what do? They turn it into a practical thing. How did the legal field ever even get attributed, right? They would say the confinements to the structure of biblical attributes, or they would say the Quran, the Torah, the Talmud. There's so many, Buddhism. There's so many attributes that correlate to the fact that practicality is through spirituality. So Knowing self is important. And, ignorance of spiritual laws, no excuse. But it is if it's not taught properly, if you are not given the guidance. So it then entices you to have, they would say, I wouldn't say no choice, but to understand, overstanding, inner standing, outer standing perspectives, practicality, in which it, whatever form that you must get the standing, but more of the narrowing down of this change from spiritual to practical. Thus, of me calling myself a divine conflict resolution strategist. You can find that course in the description box of the video. It's a Udemy class course. Yes, is you gotta pay for it. It is not free. Thank you, but it's reasonably priced so that you can see different replicas of spiritual disputes and special spiritual dispute matters when it comes to how did practicality of civil matters, CVD, cardiovascular disease, become attributed in practical form of law. And obviously, that would mean you have to administer health and administration or anything that attributes to the health field. Because CVD does mean what? Cardiovascular disease. Does not CVD have a 3-letter acronym in civil matter cases? So the matters of the heart, aka when you study your astrology chart and knowing your Venus placement. I am a Leo Venus, so I speak from the heart whether you like it or not, and I have that fire for your ass. So beware. So Simmer, Summer, Marie, the League, Lavu, good juju, like some would administer this goddess who's buried in the land of the New Orleans. And her number is number 7, according to the African Goddess Rising deck by Abiola Abrams. Shout out to her and her creation. Got this deck at home. I love it. And the thing about it, when it comes to this particular goddess, Marie Laveau, is, some say Lavoie, if I'm not saying it the correct way. So with this, in the Bible, Abram and Lot separate is, I believe, page 99. I believe page 99. So as I'm talking, I'm going to flip to make sure. Dang, and I flipped the page right to 69. So something about the new moon in Cancer to the full moon in Cancer, that they're 69 days apart. This is in the book of Exodus. It says consecrating the priest with an S, just in case it sounds like I've said it funny. Let's see, because I want to make sure I get this right. Punishments for sin. So is it 9 instead? Yep, it's 9. 99 is punishments for sin. In Leviticus, page 9 is Abram and Lot separate. Abiola Abrams, African Goddess Rising deck, and we have Marie Laveau, good juju. And if we were to reoccur the pages, this will be page 927. So something about September 27th. Okie dokie. So yeah, Marie Laveau, this is good juju number 7 in the African Goddess Rising deck by Abiola Abrams. Page 9, Abram and Lot separate. So when we talk about real estate, when we have this conversation about lot rent and actually owning the property, there is a separation. Someone owns, it's the lot, and then something about the property. See, it takes two to tango, they would say, or it's a thing of, they some would say subcontracting and prime prime contracting, primary, substitute. So you, even though the teacher, they would say the main head in the classroom, is the one that looks like, sometimes it's okay to have somebody to back you up, or put in the work that you lack. So even the primary teacher is the sub to the substitute, and the substitute could be the primary teacher to the, well, you get it, flip and flop. That doesn't necessarily mean they're a bad fit. So then we have flips. Seven, the number seven, it flips to the letter L. Libra, Leo. The L's or of bays. So the L's are usually responsible for the magical attributes that happens in the replicas of structure. Bays are usually the ones that are, I mean, they're active too, but more for replicas of foundation for children. It can be the one that protects the children, because um, like mess with a mother who's a lion, like a lion, that's the animal, and they got the cubs. I think you get your tail toe up. Not saying that the father, who could obviously would be a lion as well, is not, going to defend and protect, but definitely mother. So something about pointy ears and pointing fingers could be significant, because in this time we're about to find people who love to play the blame game instead of just handling their business. And even if you do have to do a bit of explanation of who and what and when and where and why, you still are, you're fact checking, you're critiquing, and you're trying to get to the solution. This is not blaming anyone. The facts matter. So Ohio, Minnesota, North Carolina, New York City, New Jersey, Georgia, Kentucky, South Carolina, and Alabama. Alabama, Aladdin. So they would say J, Jasmine, and then NYC, NC, no Y, we next. Then you have Georgia, Alabama, Kentucky, South Carolina, North Carolina. There's one more, I believe. Those are the states that have the Cherokee courts. So the 717 prediction of 1939, Charlie Barnett orchestrated a musical called Cherokee. But then ironically, that's the new moon in Cancer date. This new moon in Cancer will be on the 5th. The 17th number breaks down into a 5. They're the same number but different level. So from Hierophant to the star, or it can be from star to Hierophant. Sometimes it's not necessarily a demotion, it's a promotion. Maybe someone's tired, somebody else next up, something like that. Or it's time for you to step up. It depends on the position and what's being done. Someone's getting fired, someone's getting hired, or just somebody coming in to assist the situation. It depends. So infections, parasites, and other crimes of passion that is claimed to help someone else. Because of March the 15th, the moon was in Gemini at 3:16 a.m. So the 14th through the 16th, the moon was in Gemini this year in March. 14, 15, and 16, those dates. Somebody, now I don't know whether for good or bad reason, I'm not here for that. It's some kind of conjuring that had happened with Marie Laveau. Now, whether someone did something or not, it could have been something about what was done to her. And how you have raging spirits that never get their Tory. Someone's name's Tori. Their story told correctly. And what happens is you may feel the pulls and tugs at it, and no one did anything at all. And maybe it's something for you to handle, and nobody actually did any conjuring. Or the fact that Obviously, a lot of people love her and show some kind of support. They studied her, talked about her, whatnot, videos, whatever. The point is, a lot of times we don't know our assignment until it's assigned. So I don't know who I'm helping. It's not necessarily that someone conjured up or did anything. It could be you felt tugs and pull according to the steps you've taken in the journey you've taken to these replicas of, they would say, psychic investigator attributes, divine conflict strategies for divine resolutions, and divine conflict. There is a such thing as divine conflict. Divine conflict is when something looks like a conflict, but for a divinity of purpose that attributes into a divine resolution. So Adolf Hitler vibes 420, 320, 220, 120. You can find these verses in Galatians. Something about galactic council, and very much, going back to him being technically, he was like a German Jew. A lot of people, when we discovered things about Mr. Hitler, and a lot of people get upset, they have, people feel like, why should a person get some kind of love and support? They were this kind of person, that kind of person. Well, Galatians 3:20 is a mediator, is not a mediator of one, but God is one. This is when someone comes together. Galatians 4:20 talks about how something is unbelievable. I never thought I'd meet you. And then 220 and 120, those are replicas of what was done due to atrocities and how people were foolish. So check what happened March 15th, 16th, 15th. I said it totally backwards. 14th, 15th, and 16th. The moon was in Gemini at 3:16 a.m. on the 15th. The 15th is the devil arcana in tarot. So it's funny if you look at that card, it actually shows the devil holding the scepter. Acceptance, failure, deception. Those are terms that attribute to each other as antonyms and synonyms, but usually used in some kind of way to explain one or the other, even in opposites of attraction. So, a father trying to subjugate a child due to horrid past and hatred towards another. This could be someone has a family member who works for certain special forces. Some would say special operations, etc. That leads to federal attributes agencies. And yes, pastors are agents. Wake up. Did not approve, someone didn't approve of a person to love them upon request, or their family did not approve them. Family quarrels, spiritual cleanups needed. Basically, when these things happen, you have people who tap into your energy that know that what you're up to. Y'all have certain dreams about family members, especially around this time, because it's slowly but surely revealing who is actually trying to keep you from progressing. Sometimes things happen so someone can move them out the way, and it's not meant for you to get upset with them. It's for you to be able to, oh, I see that I just need to keep moving forward. And as you move forward, it will get intense. This is what you call purifying, or parting the Red Sea. Um, Peter walking on water, because Red Sea will attribute to blood, or the water change of color. So you can't really see if you're swimming through blood, right? The water must be clear. So there's a difference between Peter walking on water versus Peter walking on blood. There's two different journeys, is what I'm saying. One is walking on clear water, obviously, can see, maybe it's a little bit of a mixture of both. Both have their own ideology of, I seen this, I seen that. If you have a 6, you might see a 6, they see a 9. It doesn't defeat the fact that one should always come in connection when it comes to these connections of getting what is truly going on. But then to realize when you get to the end, there you both are. It's just a part of the journey, folks. Next. So just remember, Zimmer is a Germanic word meaning room, and it's a surname. Okay, that, like, please don't forget that. Rest in peace, Trayvon, and very much honor to the family. So Marie Lavoie, some say Lavoie. Her middle name was Catherine. And I just find it funny when I was doing my research of my father's side of the family. We have an ancestor named Catherine who was kept in this plantation. It's called Liberty Hall. When we went up to um, like look at the house and whatnot, you know how you look at it. There was this room with it's like triangular door with a lock on it. It reminds me of a Cinderella moment. Somebody being trapped upstairs in there because the lock was on the outside of the door, but there was a bed and stuff in there. So Michael Jackson's mother was named what? Catherine. Do you remember the time? So Marie Catherine Laveau was a Louisiana Creole practitioner of voodoo, a herbalist, midwife who was renowned in New Orleans. Her daughter, Marie Lavoie or Laveau II, also practiced root work, conjured Native American and African spirituality, as well as Louisiana voodoo and traditional Roman Catholicism. So, according to the information, she was born September 10, 1801. Now, look at the difference in the they would say data analytic pattern, because this is a form of data, is it not? This is information. So 1801, and then we have 1881, which she died June 15th. It claims she was 79 years old. The 717 prediction of 1979, Gary Moore left Thin Lizzy for Midgeray. Something about Missouri. Something about Misery Loves Company. So sometimes people wrote you off as this hoodoo voodoo, when really they're just spooky spooked because they didn't clean up their mess in the back. They didn't think it would come a day that they would have to clean it up. So something about 81 is very significant. Flip it around, and it's the Moonology card. The moon, Cancer energy, family matters, the fourth house, Emperor energy, the number 4. And it also represents ethical justice codes and procedures and doing things by the book, according to the book you was dealt. You know how you play a game. How many books you got? Somebody might say a lot. But the burial place is in St. Louis Cemetery. Descendants, Marie Lavoie or Laveau II. We have other individuals. So this name Marie is very prominent, obviously, in the family. This is very fascinating to me because some other information that we'll get to. And the spouse was Jacques Paris. Something about, I thought about Persian rugs, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. So I believe their time of marriage was from 1819 to 1820. So the parents of Miss Lavoie or Laveau is Charles Lavoie. It's funny, right? Back to the 717 tradition of 1939, where Charlie Barnett orchestrated a musical called Cherokee. I'm sorry, not sorry. Everything has a connection. How do you connect things? It's not about how somebody else connects them, and it's not about whether they understand you or not, because Charlie Barnett did orchestrate a musical called Cherokee. Her father his name is Charles Lavoie, and then the mother, I believe I'm saying her name right, Margaret, and it looks like Dark Cantrell. So very interesting last name too. Very much Mardi Gras-ish and margarita time. So this is more of how you were raised and what you were raised around and how they did things. It shouldn't attribute to someone's ideology, because you could literally be an innocent bystander and someone judge you because of how your life and where you come from and your people. Catherine is an ancestor of mine, like I said to a lot of you. Not this Catherine. I mean, she might be my ancestor. I don't know. I ain't go that deep. But yeah, I have a Catherine in my family, and it in Liberty Hall Plantation of Warsaw, North Carolina. According to the listings and the research I've done, that ancestor was of that house. I believe she was the breeder. They just didn't want to tell me. They didn't have to. Not really. Or the one that they locked in that little thing up there, looking like Cinderella's damn dressing room. It just like when you know what you know, and they just feared what you know. Yeah, and a lot of weird things, paranormal activity was going on down there in Warsaw. Something about the fifth element. Warsaw, Esau, Elegua, Eshu. So these are the things that they don't want to deem as a factor, because what they do, like how they did Henrietta Lacks, you put a B to Lacks, it becomes blacks. Plan B. Something about lacking a plan B. Sometimes they will say, oh, we need a plan B just in case plan A doesn't work. But on my Will Smith, look, plan A is plan A. Like, for real, for real. So I don't know who need to hear it. It may have something to do with blood. Took forensic science and criminal justice. You have your blood types: A blood, B blood, O blood. Before it was Oba, it was Ama because of the armor. Armory, army, army, giving you a utensil to use as you go on to your battlefield of choice given to you by your assignment, they would say. So it just goes back to right knowledge and obviousness. So using mints and things of minty family of herbs is very important at this time to whoever may feel a tug and pull at this information you see, maybe according to what you learned, what you didn't know. And let's go to the next slide, because this one is very important. We have Marie. You see that? Marie I think it's Bonaparte. So we have this word bona fide. I fly like pepper, get high like planes. So Princess Marie Bonaparte, something about an ex parte. Exit plans. It seems like we got a plan B over here. So Marie Lavoir, did she take an L for this plan B? Or is it just me? Or is this silly? So anyway, Marie Princess at that. See, Miss Lavoir was called a voodoo priestess. Different levels, different shovels. Princess Marie Bonaparte, known as Princess George of Greece and Denmark. So hold on, let me start right here. It's going back to the Jews. If we all, now I paid attention in school, we might have not paid attention to every little thing, but remember, I don't know if y'all ever was, did a lot of talking about the Jews and what they went through, and being shipped to, I believe it was Sweden. They would use this code name, something about a carton of cigarettes. That was their code name to say, I'm shipping cargo, these individuals over there, basically. And they would say carton of cigarettes. Now, if we cross state lines, ladies and gentlemen, with cigarettes, a lot of them, what's going down? You're getting in trouble. I'm just saying. It's the same thing like drugs. It's the same thing like drugs. So, how they say someone harboring fugitives and things of the nature, or you might be taking someone who's not, let's just say that's not your child, you're kidnapping, something like that, across state lines or XYZ. It goes the same difference. I'm a real estate law certified here. So it just goes back to property, intellectual, real, and personal, the differences. So Princess George of Greece and Denmark, upon her marriage, she was the princess of George in Greece upon her marriage. So she was a French author of a psychoanalyst. Hold on, break it. Did you catch it, or should I should explain it? So she's an author, apparently, from the information, and a psychoanalyst. Are they trying to say Marie Lavoir, Laveau, Marie L, according to this Marie B? It's just funny how she becomes a psychoanalyst and she's an author. And let's just keep going. Closely linked to Sigmund, I believe it's Freud, something about a family feud. Her wealth contributed to the popularity of psychoanalysts and enabled feuds escape from Nazi Germany. We just spoke about Hitler. There was a reason for all of this information. So, with her being an author, and has anyone even ever heard of a psychoanalyst? So, if Miss Marie Lavoir, whichever one you like to say, respect, was a voodoo priest, she worked with herbs. Everybody knows that she had her thing going on. Then we get this Marie B. And she's an author and is a psychoanalyst and has contributed popularity of psychoanalysis when it came to the escapes of from Nazi Germany. Like your experience is everything. So when she did what she did and obviously got recognized, it seems like a more valor contribution than Miss Marie Laveau. Some say Lavoie. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I'm just doing both just in case. It's just, it looked like one took an L, so somebody can be Bay to me. I'm just saying. Not that, hey, do your thing, Miss B. I'm just saying, huh? I'm just saying. I didn't even see. She's something about the Duchess, because she's a princess of the Duchess, Miss Marie Bonaparte. So something in law, if you ever had experience in it, victim or even the defendant, doesn't matter, and you have an ex parte. This is to eliminate access from one party from another due to domestic violence, usually. And then aparte, according to Espanol, is when something is separated. I'm just saying. So she was born July 2nd, 1882, in St. Cloud, France. Now, again, Miss Marie Laveau, whichever you like to say, her death was in 1881. And then this one is born 1882. But then um, her mother's name is Marie. And I have some information next about mom. And she dies, Marie B. She dies September 21st, 1962, at age 80, St. Tropez, France. I believe I'm saying it correct. So her spouse again was Prince George of Greece and Denmark, 1907 to 1957. Her children are listed here: Peter, And then I believe this is Eugenie. And then you've got her books, Marie Bonaparte, and then female sexuality. And she has more, but I didn't do all that. I just pasted. This is for fair use as well. So, place of burial. This is around a. I had to check this one out a little bit because it's a little cool. I believe it's Tatoy Palace in Greece, and her parents Roland Bonaparte and Marie Felix Blanc. So in Creole, when they say Blanc, that's like someone who's white, but Blanc is someone who's just not. You're not associated as a Haitian Creole if you ever hear them say Blanc. And so Felix, and that's in the Bible as a governor. Felix the governor. Now, Catherine, according to certain information that I found interesting, Catherine, she had a, that is Marie Lavoie, or someone say Marie Laveau. That's her middle name, so let's not forget. I'm making a connection here. So, or they would say spiritual inclination because due to us growing fruits and vegetables on the ground, and then we intake that stuff, a lot of us we get in tune to the groundings of the universe, in which assist us with walking and going on our journey. So when we participate in those communions separated from religious practice of those communions, this is what awakens our intensity of these different, they would say, people who've been on the earth. It doesn't matter if it was 1,000 years ago. We still use the grounds to create, drink, and eat from. You don't, going to church, to me, mixes and mingles those things. They would say, church is a foundation. Well, just like American Indians, some say Native Americans, they're not the same. I'm sorry, not sorry. They would have the same definition. Basically, they would be attributed as differences, but they still have their significance. Thus, of boarding schools, because that's really what a lot of these plantations are and were. And they had nothing but children. This is a true fact. There was a woman in the house, and some people doing the work, the elders. Um, but then there's cases where somebody can do. This is why probate courts and the things they do, they hide things so you wouldn't be able to know X, Y, and Z of family and any claims to make, because they know they was using the women to breed babies. Let alone if you're drinking her breast milk, eventually, because they don't do these studies. It's just like drugs being distributed from mouth to mouth, or however. If there's a connection, according to mental health and just health in general, they make connections where eventually you will have a DNA transfer and change, whether you realize it or not. And then statistics show breastfed babies are more, attributed as more intelligent than, they would say, than ones who are not breastfed. That's what they would say. If something is natural, why not? So some people feel like what's natural isn't natural, but it creates that connection of mother and child in a practical manner. Because spiritually, in the womb is different. When a baby is actually born, you get the practical or the practicality in which the breast produces milk. So at the time, we didn't have bottles. That would be a substitute. How do you not know, with this accountability thing that men are pushing on women? Men who were not of this country did not understand, overstand, understand, or understand perspectives that this is how we feed our children, and they looked at it as weird. Again, melanated men had, let's not argue about that. They will say Moors, respectfully, had to teach individuals who were of the Caucasus Mountains, or they would say people who were not of certain higher learnings according to what was updated, had to teach them what this was, how that was, and also how to treat women. But somewhere down the line, something happened where now I guess they want us to take accountability, life after life. When I think it's a misunderstanding, because if you add someone into the family who doesn't understand, overstand, and understand on outer standard perspectives how you live, and you have to teach them that, but it was a, I believe infiltration happened because of those things, then they would try to, oh, we're gonna make it fair, and you get accused of being this way when you're actually not. Oh, there's so many things that's gonna be revealed. I would say more, but I'm gonna say less, because some people just swear they know everything. When you have your own experience and you have reached a level of knowledge that no one else can actually, and it's difficult to share, because again, uh, what your experience is not their experience, so they looked at you as weird, so they want to experiment, excuse me, you. They want to learn, but they want to stalk you instead. But then they try to get it where this is where infiltration happens, and prisoners of wars were created and still are, especially due to technology and its advancement, where individuals are then treated irresponsibly and illegitimately due to childish behavior, because someone can't win and they want to win so bad, basically. So conversations you may have gets altered according to Rule 903 in telephone conversing, where they said you said this on this date when you know you would never say anything like that. So is the playing field truly fair or divinely orchestrated? As we check Marie Laveau, and then we have a Marie Bonaparte. One, Marie L. She passes 1981 of June, and then July, the other J, Miss Marie B, is born 1882. I'm just saying, if data analytics is an important thing that we learn, oh, that's just a coincidence. I wouldn't be surprised if Miss Marie Laveau has a connection with this family, especially if documents were proved, because I have a strange feeling that I'm correct. Next, this is her mother, Miss B's mama. Her name is, obviously you can see it, we're going to call her Marie Felix. And so she was born into wealth. And obviously her mother, she was born prior to her. So she was born 1859. So obviously, perhaps, let's just say by some ray of funny chance, her mother knew Marie L's mother. Did she? Subjugation, a mug. Connection too. Vamping and looking and stalking and saying someone is just doing this and that and the third. I wouldn't be surprised. So she dies 1882 of August 1st. Yeah, that's not a coincidence. At 22 years old. Very young. So her parents down here, we have Marie Charlotte. Marie is a very popular name, I see. So then we have the rest of her family down here. I did all this to say, I think it's a connection. It's just something ain't right, and they ain't telling it right. Like hidden replicas, because obviously, Creole is a French Spaniard connection, more to the aspects according to like they would say Portugal rule, those who know it a little bit, and the fact that Haiti fought back. So there's a lot of controversy dealing with this place, this particular location, and then checking the information and the compelling dates. They're just jumping. They just connect for some odd reason. And then we have December 22nd, 1222. The big Capricorn energy, big. I know a Capricorn who's born 1222. That's why I was like, oh, wow. So your journey is your journey for many reasons than none. And I find it compellingly odd. She's born on the 22nd of December, but she dies at 22. You know how they say data matters? People who do numbers. All I'm saying is connections mean something, even if it's nothing. It actually opens a door to things you didn't know about each person. Even if there is nothing significant about them, that should be countered together. And then look at this family with financial holdings. I think it's Monaco and Germany. Something about the Capricorn energy. It represents career goals and finance and financial literacy, bookkeeping as well. I do not find that, let's say, a coincidence. Does it look like karma? Does this look like karma to you? What are your thoughts? Are these dates a coincidence? Can this be a way to tell through data analysis that patterns will never lie, no matter how someone tries to cover it up? Could they have stolen the inheritance of Miss L? I'm going to call her Miss L, Marie Lavoie Laveau, some would say, due to racist and prejudiced acts of crime and subjugation of criminal acts made through trusted personnel sworn to protect the innocent? Is this information linked to her inheritance according to the breach of trust and accounts, tracing the account according to the so-called accountability and arguing this side is better than the other? EDU versus ENT? Is this fair in your eyes, or does it make you think about the Fairness Act according to someone's nefarious plans? Nefertiti, biblically, Nefertali, nefarious, Nefertiti, nefarious plans, things that are, oh my God, too good to be true, but it's some kind of silver lining that's it can get wild. This is where Nefertiti came from, nefarious plans. Because biblically, Nefertiti wasn't Nefertiti, it was Nefertali, aka Muhammad Ali. Kemet was constructed through the Powhatan because the term him, hear the Arabic in it. So the Arabian slave trade, obviously, everyone should know, persisted before the transatlantic, peak transatlantic. Wake up, everyone. It's right there. You can argue. If certain people want to live their life like this, they have a right. Especially if it's something compelling when it comes to who they actually are and who someone isn't. They just want to be them too and claim this at the same time. I'm not saying you can't do that, but the other individuals have a right to do it too. Thus, of someone trying to create inventions and invent things, but then all of a sudden, yeah, something happens to them. All of a sudden, suddenly. Hmm. Well, I'll be dog. Let's keep going. So Tamara Green or Tamara Green, Chicago and other replicas, Chicago Bulls, Chicago Boy, Ari Lennox song. When one of her lyrics in it was "F you before I catch this flight." Aaliyah, ironically dying in a plane crash. Somebody wants to get high without getting high. A negative, positive, and or a negative, a positive, or a blood. These are the A's. Triple A. Who's been to the Triple A store? What up, Warsaw? So it basically a blood gang member involvement, or they would say associated. You can't help who you're associated with. Like some people grew up, they knew a lot of Crips more than Bloods. Of you know, unfortunately for some, and that's not a big deal for most. But gangs are gangs. Police officers, you are a gang. No matter how you, oh, I have documents in the government and da 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 da. You still a gang, sir, ma'am. Y'all day is coming. Let me tell you about it. Actually, I really can't, even if I knew. Y'all know y'all day coming. And it's sad because do what you know you're supposed to do. Or you was told to do this like this. See, that's your problem. I'm not afraid to say shit. So, oh my, we have Ama, armor, amour, love, the armor, armory, infantry, using the child as weapons, huh? Hmm. Well, I'm a mother who pays child support, so don't argue with me, man. I don't want to hear none of that. And I got a long story to tell. My abuser got the children. I ain't crying about it, but it is what it is. Recently put his hands on me, and you know how you make a claim, you say what you gotta say, but y'all should just do the right thing. You know how you have evidence? I don't know who need to hear it, but they're trying to say you need to know your rights and blah blah blah. When you reach a certain peak of knowledge, that's when they want to do that. When you were helpless in a way where you didn't know as much, now they do that. Is this what happened to Tamara Green? Y'all should go check the story out. She was a stripper. They try and use that as a leverage of saying, oh, she was just a little hoe. And that's fucked up because we don't know her story. We don't. All we know is she died due to literally somebody knew she knew information and was trying to shut her up. Something about a true story. Somebody thought somebody was green. I'm Tamara. If anything, I'm red. Like, nah, I might be green to some things, but I'm quick about it. So this is the problem. When you find a problem, they say speak out. So her mother, Miss Green's mother was named Brenda. Tupac, Brenda got a baby. Is it so? Remember Brenda in the Tyler Perry attributes? She played Angela Bassett played Brenda. Father passes and leaves the daughter a house, apparently, according to the information. So the Arawak and the Powhatan nations, a powerful anchor messenger with a message. Because the Arawak can be an arrow, all. But without power, that arrow is just an arrow. You can shoot an arrow. Archer stuff, Sagittarius, Mars, Sun, North Node here. You can shoot an arrow, but the problem is, where are you going with it? Sagittarius, your believe it was the pink moon predictions. Where are you going? Where are you going to? Something about mahogany floors. Something about Edgar Allan Poe. When I was in school, there was a beating of the heart buried in the floor, and Edgar Allan Poe got a visit from the cops. Sagittarius house and placements are messenger points or spots. Beware of false divine messengers. It sounds correct and good, but still vague in intentions, according to equivocation, and full of finger pointing energy when it's them or and who they work for. Sometimes it's nothing at all, and it's some energy vamping around, and everybody just want to blame it on such and such. When how do you not know there's a literally something we cannot see acting the hell up around here? You don't think that's possible? So we just watch scary movies and all this stuff, and then that can't be a possibility. Anything's possible. You don't think so? Okay, stop watching scary movies. Dr. Sabi was a Sagittarius. Look at what happened to him. Just trying to heal and help people with herbs. And he was a man. Miss Marie Lavoie, she did the same thing, but they call her a voodoo priestess. I'm just saying, you don't see that? So it was just me. Okay. Moving on. So Title 17 U.S. Code 107 for Fairness Act of Education and Entertainment, the scales, Libra energy, but the one who holds the acceptor, the acceptance of not only their attributes but others, that is the devil within us all. We all have a little Diablo. You can try to act like you so golden glow. No, not so, baby. Not so. Some of us, according to the family in which we were born to, karmically or divinely, there is such thing as a divine karmic family. There's a such thing as a divine karmic facility. You know, your F's, if you get me. So this just explains the acceptance of what you cannot change and what is and what is not. Life is not a fairy tale. Fantasia Bruno said it best. So Aries, what you doing, Aries? Aries placements thereof: Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, South Node, Fortune. For your Venus prediction, the heart of an Aries or Aries Venus, you have Mi Fantasia. Excuse me, that's your Cinco de Mayo. Your Venus is from distance to permission. Cinco de Mayo is Mi Fantasia and Rosita de Olivo. So these are your guides that you can find according to your signs you receive. Whether you think it's fair or not, whether you think it's educational or entertainment. Even in education, it can be entertaining as long as you find it interesting. Like you wouldn't just go to school for cybersecurity if you're not interested in it, or you was just looking at it can pay you more money. It's very much more evitable if you go to school, they would say, or get you are doing some kind of form of someone's teaching you. It's very important to get into things that you actually are interested in. Don't ever do something that you're not interested in. I mean, unless you pick up, a thing or two and you like it, I would say stick to what you know you're interested in, and you can take like little classes, bits in here and there. and work your way into that way. You should never, plan A is plan A. Okay, Will Smith said it best. Plan A is plan A. You can plan B, I guess, just in case. Everyone should do that. They say, but long as hold on, I'm banking on plan A. I'm just saying. Sometimes people want to take um how somebody lives their life. They can do entertainment. How they take their life and how they do with their life should not be the attributes of how you view yours. Be inspired. Yeah, they might, whatever they do, but you also are, they would say, quote unquote, not a good, you're not a goody two shoes either. We just don't, your stuff isn't on blast. So be very mindful before talking junk about someone. Um, because a lot of people were subjugated, a lot of people were lied on, lied to, as we all are at that. So Flora, according to the Aurora movie 1959, Sleeping Beauty, so the 514th edition of 1959, the movie series Charge came out. Flora, pink, something about pink. Her that was a fairy, the three fairies, dressed. That was the one dressed in pink. So somebody's auntie with the flow, and we have Fauna, the green one, dressed in green. Fountain of Youth. She gave her the gift of song. And then Flora, the one in pink, look, maybe looking red sometimes for people. It was an argument there, pink, red. She gave her the gift of beauty. Meriwether, blue, storms of oil. She gave her the gift basically to weather storms, to be tough. If you watched the movie, it is free on YouTube with ads. I think it's just free. It'll play straight through. Get your own depiction of it. But for a lot of those who are familiar with the movie, Meriwether, the blue fairy, she was very like tough. Like she would get upset, ruffle up her little dress, and have like her arms in a fighter stance. So this is the one who gives her hope, love, but to brace herself and to accept what you can't change. Because unfortunately, they will say, according to the movie, she was asleep. Some will say this is an ideology of death. Maybe some, we realistically attribute it, like a coma. Somebody, you know, having the gift of being tough is a toughie. That's a tough one because there's so many ways and none to define that in real life. So we have Flora, beauty, skin deep. Fauna, the gift of song. Meriwether gifts of break curses with love, and be loved by a true love, not a fake lover. This is not defined, but as long as you don't feel bad, it's not uncomfortable for someone else. So, who you love is who you love. They love you back. Great. It's just the replicas of sometimes you two, you get judged because you want to be together or some weird shit. And you can be, heterosexual relationship. And they still, why did you choose him? Why did you choose her? It's like sometimes you need someone who gets you. And sometimes, you could be a little afraid of them too because they get you. Like, ain't that something? So, child sexual abuse isn't admissible in this. Usually, the person has experienced this pain or silenced about this. Family betrayal and black blood magic mastery puppet attributes. Someone who takes a person's intellectual or intellect and gifts or forces them to slavery to harvest these gifts to cover up their plots, scams, and deem themselves innocent. Long story short, if y'all recall, not just Sword in the Stone, but also Sleeping Beauty, where there was like a broom and they was doing all the cleaning, but they used magic. That's basically talking about melanated people of carbonism that cannot be seen, and they're cleaning up because practically a lot of people don't believe in the hoodoo, voodoo, and the stuff, right? But a lot of us know that is a possibility, and a lot of you probably seen something before. So, long story short, practically they would say that's no standing in law. You can't, we can't see you. You gonna sweep and mop and da 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 da. And that can be children as well, regardless of how they look. Because a lot of people like to use the Native American attribute to say, oh, we can say we had indentured servitude in our family, but indentured servitude and enslavement are two different things. And secondly, um, that was more of a punishment towards those, because if you take the word native and you take the T out, it becomes the word naive. So someone always takes the cross for others to, because they can't bear it like someone else. Heard through the grapevine, a lot of people are sick of doing it. Should someone be naive because someone doesn't want to use their head or wake up? Sleeping Beauty? What will we do without love is the question I need to ask. Because a lot of you say you need to do this, you need to do that yourself, da da da, those arguments to people. Okay, well, what will we do without love? Because love is having not to ask. When you wake up in the rising, that's love. Cause you didn't have to, but you did. You would, some would say, oh, because I took care of myself, and I take care of my body, practical. But no, spiritually, we know there's a force that allows us to do that as well. It works hand in hand. Before there was practical, there was spiritual. But everyone's how this goes, that's their problem. They want it to be the way it used to be. But that's also the problem. If we obviously learned that the ways that it was is not the ways it should be, but just because we shouldn't keep certain things of which it was according to what it would be doesn't necessarily mean we should do anything, you know, I would say too over the edge, a bit new. Structure is important. But going back where someone gets ridiculed, burnt at the stake, rocks, and stoned, I think that's a little extreme, don't you think? That's people problem. That's what you want. A lot of you, unfortunately. When are we gonna love each other for the facts? When are we gonna realize a lot of stuff isn't what you think, let alone anyone's fault? You don't think we all was peaceful and there was a disturbance of energy that we couldn't identify? But when someone could, you got scared of them. You wanted their power. You wanted to be just like them. So you killed them, hey? You took them out, hey? Could have been a child. I'm just saying a lot of you about to get exposed. You're sick. And using those old ways of, oh, they did this, and so you're gonna meet your match one day. This is why they don't want people rising high in vibration. You have no one to blame but yourself. There's only a selected few, they would say the 144s, who literally, they were just used in the story and they actually are innocent because someone, it's the 12-year-old girl who they say she killed her brother. She's probably like 13 now, turning 14. Her brother was 9 at the time. And she said something jumped in her body and she couldn't control her body. She was trying to and ended up accidentally killing her 9-year-old brother. This is where they say, oh, you need foundation, you need religion, you need faith, get grounded in those things. Okay, that's great. But then when we go to these, well, most of these quote unquote churches, I don't care their foundation. It can be Methodist, it can be Baptist, I don't care. If they're doing things to disturb someone, discourage someone, provoke someone, like kicking a pregnant person out the choir because they have a baby. But you probably wasn't outside. That person goes through what they go through. They're trying to find their place in life. Like everyone else, but there was the other choir members was outside the church talking about sex and what they gonna do when they get home, their little boyfriends, girlfriends, flirting with others at the church. When this person was literally trying to find God in the church, the one that got pregnant, not knowing their story, you just kick them out. It's kind of like Faith Evans Reloaded when she was in the Fighting Temptations, and told her not to do these kind of music, da 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 da. You can't be in the choir. You got to get kicked out. I don't think they understood that story. What if there was a silver lining where she couldn't get a job and all she could do was this? Or they say, oh, well, you could have changed your music. Even then, how she lived her life, she didn't have a man. Only man that was around was her little boy. Did y'all see a man? Did you see her? Obviously, she had one. What happened? Hmm. Well, movies are made for no reason. Capricorn energy and Cancer, opposites of each other. The Cancer house is about career, finances, and goals, and they orient around it. Cancer is family, concrete existence, house, and energy of the moon, light and dark side of the moon. Like literally, what is this and the truth about that, and blah blah blah. These are opposites of each other. Transmuting these houses are important, or the placements, through positivity, because providing for family relies on these placements in areas where they rest according to the house or the placement. What happened to you at 17? That's my question. So I got pregnant when I was 16, had my daughter at 17. I Fun fact, I was that girl that was pregnant and got kicked out the choir. The same church I got baptized there, Rainbow Missionary Baptist Church. Had her at 17. Aurora, on their 16th birthday, she would get her finger pricked at the spindle of a spinning wheel and die. So because I got pregnant at 16 and my finger got pricked in the doctor's office, ever since then my life was fucked? Is what you're saying? What happened to you when you was 17? So recalling the year before. Still graduated high school, still went to college. Somebody's mad because I'm a pusher. I mean, I am, I have a womb. So, yep, 5 children, love them. I had a miscarriage, so respectfully 6. Love you too, babe. And basically, you have to realize what it's saying. You have to realize what these things are. Leo Venus here. Aurora science of Leo Venus. True love's kiss spells. Ha ha ha. No one cares or loves you. This is usually casted by a person who knows you're favorable than they are. But they are in an occult that targets people like that. It can be anything. Oh, it looks right now. And then, oh my God. Dun, dun, dun. Don't even have to be in a cult. It can be anything. Um, oh, we just do this on every Sunday at the church. Then you seen other things. There was a pastor, according to Instagram, y'all going ham on videos where they snorting coke. They would say not the judge. Okay, but y'all, what's with the quick condemning of your constituents in the congregation? The person must be a twin or have twins, or it's a spiritual thing there where if you got, maybe you made two different forms of information and they coincide with each other. They're not different, but they're different in their own special way that it still comes together. So I was born a twin. My twin died, the only military baby out of my mom's Fantastic Four. What's your story? The person may have a twin energy through a person that is related to them, such as their mini me. So if you have like a child, and usually they say firstborn or the lastborn, or really say like you have boys and girls as children, your first boy, your first girl, or they're literally the twins who just happen to be a boy and a girl, or however it suits you according to what is for you. I cannot determine that. You have to. So your mini me, even if it's the baby, looks like you, baby look like that baby look. Okay. These people's threat is usually a Leo sun. So Leo Venus is your threats is usually, or really, I wouldn't even say threats, you know, um, think of yourself as a pencil, and these are pencil sharpeners. So these people's threat is usually a Leo sun, moon, Aquarius sun, moon, Scorpio sun, moon, Taurus sun, moon. These signs could be heavy aspected in their chart. So say like you do have a Leo Venus, maybe Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and one of these are just heavy aspected. Or especially if it's Libra, Sagittarius, especially something about direction and order, and or any signs that have horns. The signs that have horns is the Taurus, the Aries, the Capricorn. The opposites of the signs, Capricorn would be Cancer. That's the winged beast, the winged beast. The fallen angels. So Capricorn, Cancer, fallen angel energy. Taurus, Scorpio, fallen angel energy. Did I get them all? Taurus, Aries, Libra. Yeah, so Libra, fallen angel energy. So usually the person has a Lilith in any sign that has horns. Their opposite is the sign with wings, fallen angels of vengeance. Yep. So Libra, Scorpio, Cancer, potentially Pisces, potentially, or mermaid energy. These are really, you can leave Pisces out, mermaid energy. These are usually the ones I named. Those are the fallen angels with the wings, the maleficent, the magnificent, the glow, the I cannot believe you're real. Oh my God. You're like, you got this glow, and everybody looks at it as it's like a light that is light to them. Oh, you're a bit strange. You do things a little weird. We think you worship like demons and stuff, or they might say you do hoodoo, voodoo irresponsibly. Some people don't like hoodoo, voodoo at all. but you like herbs and tea and stuff. It's about intentions. Y'all are going to learn to stop subjugating people because some people aren't meant to be messed with at all, no matter what you think, no matter how you feel. This life is definitely going to teach you this time. Something about, nah, this is it. This life. This one. And it's sad that we have to go to these extreme measures for you to obviously get to treat someone with kindness and fairness. But you let your fear, get the best of you. Like you don't have a little story and then turn it around and it be your worst nightmare. Because of what you refuse to understand, overstand, and understand according to someone else. All because you just know what you're talking about. Well, maybe they do too. What if now this worst case scenario, something happened to them and you won't be able to get that help because they gone now. And that was the only person who could help you. Truth hurts. It really do. We all been there 9 times out of 10. So slides 3 and 4. These was about a recap of Trayvon Martin. So Trayvon Martin has skills in his pocket. Different skits may resonate. You get it? Skits, skittles. So he was born, again, February 5th, 1995, died February 26th, 2012. Full moon in Virgo was on the 24th of 2024 of February. The 9th was a new moon in Aquarius of February. 4 and 5 is 9, right? So 26 minus 2, 24. It's something about these dates that kind of the pattern I'm trying to get at when it comes to the number 2, 4, 9, 29th, and the 26th. Especially me being born on the 24th of November. So 24th is a big one for me. Look down, it's 10:01 reflection time. 10:01, that's 10 reflects itself to 1. It will always meet itself. There's no number in time that does not meet itself. Like 2:02, it meets itself. The other number is just not nowhere in sight unless you have a numerical clock that shows that number. But it's always there even when it's not. Thus of, something happened and it's unexplainable, and then you blame it on someone and it's not their fault. You know what I'm saying? It's always there. Some people are just divinely special and you just have to accept that. Some people just couldn't understand, overstand, and understand on an outer standard perspective other people's replicas of faith, religion, ways of living. Because even without structure of church, there was, like I said, when you grow food on the land, according to the dead bodies everywhere, ain't no telling who went through what. It's our jobs to make sure that their stories are told correctly, especially when they never got a chance to even understand what was going on themselves. 4 days from the 5th. So yeah, 4 and 5, 9. 9 flips to 6. Beware of the flip flop. You got to catch the flip in order to get the flop. Potential 10 as well, because if you count that energy in between, the little plus symbol, it turns to 10. So it's funny I had caught 10:01 on the timer. So I will be making a presentation about times that reflect themselves. You hear it from anywhere else, they're bubble guppy. So anyway, I'm going to still do it. I don't give a fuck. Potential 10, if you get what you need to know when it comes to the energy in between universally. 2 days before the 26th is 24. Something about lovers, third party involvements. And it would say, well, how? What you mean third party? The lover's card. Six. The six arcana card in tarot is the lovers. Nine is the hermit. And if you look closely in the Egyptian tarot deck of the hermit card, it has that little symbolism like the Black Panther drinking of the fruitful lotus flower, the purple one, the lotus purple one. And something about lotus flower bomb. I had to check what my name is in so many ways and none, and it's a lotus flower. Tamara is a lotus flower. I graduated 2012, and I started to put things together, especially my last few classes before I completely graduated. And then so, it's like certain things that happen at Clinton High School. Hey, everybody from Clinton High School, they graduated 2012, and our little brownie moment. I ain't going there. So he is from Miami, Florida, and dies in Florida. Something about good times, the Evans, something about evens, even, even numbers, even Steven. It's not Adam and Eve, or some would say it's not Stephen and Adam or something like that. It's just some people want to get even in ways that makes no sense. According to, you can't make someone do something if they don't want to do it. I mean, that also means to accept what somebody actually wants to do with their life. Some people are afraid of change. They've been so equipped to what they knew so long, they don't change. So Sanford, Florida, Sanford and Son, SON/SUN. Yes, the SUNs matter. Y'all love talking about the boys. What is up with that? I'm just asking. Some things y'all gonna learn. Nah, they did it all by themselves, regardless of gender. I hate to tell y'all that. And when I say they, I mean whomever. Whatever the heck you call yourself, orientation wise, when it comes to your gender specificness. You're gonna learn that some people did do something all by themselves. I don't know, good or bad. They did it all by themselves. So Esther, Red Fox, Twin Lakes in Sanford, Florida. That is where his memorial burial site is. So I don't find that a coincidence either. As a mediator, one of our 5 animal suits is the sheep. Something about yes, sir, 3 bags full. This is like the timid um, replica of a sheep, but I've learned to know sometimes you just got to know what role to play, because something about, you know, people eat lamb chops, people eat all kind of things. So anyway, the sheep is the first one, and then you have the ostrich, so the one that sticks their head in the dirt. Oh, I didn't hear that. Some things are meant not to be said. Like, you know what? I'm gonna let that go. Sometimes it's okay to act like you did not hear something, but some things, nah, we can't act like we didn't hear this. So anyway, ostrich, and then we have the fox. Slide, slick, quick, boom. Slide, slick, quick, boom. But sometimes giving quick fixes can lead to destruction, because it was just for the moment. It's not actually long term. So then we have the owl, the collaborator. Now, this could be a downfall, even though it sounds like, okay, collaborating in partnership is great. But sometimes we shouldn't be collaborating with everybody, and we should not be in partnership with everyone. Some people feel like doing it by themselves is the actual factual. So we got Zootopia, Ethiopia. Hint, hint. Zootopia, Ethiopia. Turning people into animals through indoctrination or of indoctrination. Endoctrine is the system of the body. Endoctrine is the system to control the body. Endoctrine is documents. Endoctrine, with an E, is the body itself. Endoctrine is the body beginning to take advantage of different services that provide people with how to wear the suit. Or usually you are advanced, uh, or you are in replica to people who have suits according to their job description, who indoctrinate you with an E. This could be, maybe you need a shot, maybe you need a checkup, maybe you need some kind of form of teaching to tell you how something is done. No, you say the word like this. Different forms of indoctrination with an E. Due to the many hats that people wear. Because you have to understand, overstand, and understand on an outer center perspectives how they were given the hat to wear. Mad Hathor. Hathor. Beauty. I'm a Hatharaskian. I'm not a Hathorian. You didn't ask. What is that? Put your spin on it all you want to. You ain't gonna make me. I got my own. So somebody is gonna learn certain things is an illusion. Never speed up your process because someone's incompetentness due to copying your paper. And they were not studious enough, impatient enough, and thought they was just binding you and stuff to get what they should have been focused on the whole time. So anywho, self-defense is the main thing that is taken out of context. And with saying that, basically you can defend yourself, especially if, like with Trayvon Martin, he was obviously told not to pursue. He did anyway. He called for his mother, and unfortunately it's not with us. Should he still be here? Heck yes. But here we go, right? It goes back to the replica of self-defense. Something about the lamb and the Skittles in his pocket and the over the rainbow to the bank account. Oh, the pot of gold, shall we? Something about Sherlock Holmes of the Shamrock bucket. Is it really what we thought it was? Was that not a clue? Is that strange to you, to me? Is it just a coincidence? I think not. So, if you need my services of assistance, do not hesitate. You can always reach out. The information is in the description box of this video. And I would please love for you to reference a sister. I don't work hard for nothing. Even if you don't, you're going to wish you did. I don't care where you think I am in life. Somebody loves you. I don't know, need to hear it. Somebody loves you. Doesn't matter who doesn't. And sometimes what someone can't see and how you get your support is kind of strange to them. I would just want you to, how can I put it? Remember those that need you, because you know how you were in a situation and it was just like, what? And then you know what this is. Pace yourself, slow and steady wins the race. Those who try to hurry and scurry to a whole nother view without getting the point, but quick to point the finger, usually miss the point. Is that your fault or theirs? This is why you should never rush. ever. I don't care how smart and studious and what you think you know. You never know. Chess is a game. You know, there's no time limit unless there is a time limit playing chess. Someone has all day to make a move. I've seen chess, not the game actually never ending until like a week. You feel me? So again, why should you rush? Why should you rush? Because someone else is rushing? You never know. They're late for a very important date, not you. You have freedom, they call it. But don't be dumb while being free, because you too could miss the point. Other services, these are the same links in the description box. And I said I have my criminal justice degree in the science of criminal justice, certified mediator sworn in with the rights and privilege, herbal health certification, and I just done a training completion for victim rights advocacy. Thank you, Ohio. And I thank y'all for watching this very studious, long presentation. I need to leave. I need to see. Traffic attributed to Munchie Inc. employees. 10 cent, 250. Safe house. You know what? I apologize for not looking when I should have. So I appreciate all who will see this and all who watched. I don't do this for nothing. Let's get ourselves focused, cleansed, and prepped for the greatest thing in life, which is to be loved, accepted according to what you thought someone wouldn't accept. Because this is the greatest time to be alive. And I thank you for coming. Enjoyed the presentation. I got a video, another one to do. It is for Leo and Aquarius. So I'll see y'all in about, well, if I do see you, it's okay if you don't come. Um, it's 10:17. I'm gonna give myself 10 minutes and I will be up here doing Leo and Aquarius reading. Very studious person. It ain't all about twiddling cards. You got to be careful who you target. And I do appreciate those who looked out for me and I couldn't see you. Mwah. I'm getting my mess together, getting my mess together. And thank you for those. I didn't know you was doing this, Tam. And you love it. Love you back. Much support. And if you need me, just ask. You never know. Some people do get it. You just never thought they could. Right? Enjoy your day. Enjoy your peace, tranquility, and prosperity. And let's get it together. You got time. You got time. Just be glad that you're out, about, you can breathe, you're not in confinement, you're still there, you're still pushing and moving forward. Some people don't get that luxury. It's usually taken for granted. Do not take that luxury for granted. You're not in the circus. Some people look at certain things as the circus and not realizing it's a circus everywhere. And they just judge people. Let's stop doing that. Let's be a part of the solution. And I thank you for listening. And y'all have a good one. Peace to you, love, and healing. Always. The description box is open. Go to it if you need it. Peace.